Timburr Community Day was officially announced. We already knew this because it had been leaked multiple times. The main question was going to be, what move is Conkeldurr getting? And it is getting Brutal Swing. So as of now, really you just ran two moveset on it. You ran like a close combat, I believe, and a Stone Edge. Dynamic Punch and Stone Edge. So Dynamic Punch and Stone Edge. You're now going to run Dynamic Punch as the stab move and Brutal Swing, which is more of a bait move and can give you a little bit of coverage against some of those like ghost and psychic type Pokemon that you otherwise would have trouble with, right? So that's a community day, 3 times Stardust. So this is one. There are huge pickups in the Great League and decent ones in the Ultra League. So this is one worth grinding. And 3 times Stardust is always worth grinding for. So let's look at Great League, Ultra League, and Master League. So as we do, Conkeldurr in the Great League counter Dynamic Punch and Stone Edge versus the second one, which is Dynamic Punch and Brutal Swing. So Brutal Swing will give you a bait move here, and it'll give you a little bit of coverage against, again, there are some psychics in, let's say, Cresselia, and there's Ghost and Trevenant and stuff like that. So there is a reason for Brutal Swing. It's going to flip some matchups. I think some of the matchups it flips is bait dependent. So let's just actually look at this because there's quite a lot of matchups it flips. So Carbink, Dugong, Frostlass, Lickitung, Ninetales, Scrafty, Stunfisk, Swampert, and Trevenant. You now win, but losing the Altarius, Manibus, Sableye. The losses make sense, right? You lose your Stone Edge, which is your rock nuke for the Flyers. So it makes sense that you are now losing those. What doesn't make sense on sort of the ground is, why are you now picking up Dugong when you would otherwise just go straight Dynamic Punch before? So one of two things. Either you could always go Dynamic Punch and win, in which case this is a false pickup, or you have to bait. So let's take a look at what is actually saying here. So if you bait Brutal Swing and land the Dynamic Punch, you're going to win. Now the question is, what happens if you just go straight Dynamic Punch? Will you win or lose? And you lose is the answer. That is also bait dependent on them landing the Icy Wind. Let's just see if they just land Drill Run. Yeah, they can just win going straight Drill Run if you go straight Dynamic Punch. So already, right off the bat, one of your pickups in Dugong is a bait dependent. Frostlass, I'm worried that Frostlass is the same thing. Frostlass, you can actually just go Brutal Swing. That makes sense, right? Because same with Dugong, you are doing super effective with the counters, but it looks like the counters are adding up a little more here that you can now just go straight Brutal Swing for the win to take this out. So that is good. Pick up straight Lickitung. A9 again, A9 is one that it's like, are you really picking up A9 because when you have to just go straight Dynamic Punch before, right? So this is obviously baiting Brutal Swing. If you just have to go straight Dynamic Punch, you will lose. That is them baiting. So let's say you either properly call the Weather Ball bait, you will win barely, and in the other direction you will win too. So bait, sort of bait dependent on both sides there. Scrafty again is this other one, like, are you like, it doesn't make sense to bait here. That bait is such a risk, but it looks like if you do not bait, you are probably going to lose this one. Just going straight to Dynamic Punch, you're probably just going to lose. Yeah, by like couple HP. So like one counter will flip that matchup. So it's not insignificant. So I think what it comes down to, I mean, Frostlass and Trevenant should just be straight pickups, just going as the ghost, just going straight dark. Yep. And then the other ones I wanted to check was, like I said, Defense Deoxys. Defense Deoxys may just be too tanky. Yeah. So you're going to pick up, again, some of these losses you'll still lose Crest, Cofagrigus, but you're definitely going to be chipping more. So in the end, the difference is 6 more wins. 2024 record is not amazing. And as we saw, some of these wins, Dugong, Scrafty, these are bait dependent to a certain extent. It could go here or there either way. Stunfisk, like again, Stunfisk, I don't know. Unless you could just go straight Brutal Swing because of the counters. Yeah, you can just go straight Brutal Swing, which is nice. So that's a nice pickup. Swampert, I'm wondering if you could just go straight Brutal Swing too because the counters probably add up a lot. Yep. So there are not insignificant pickups. So even though it says you pick up like 10 here and lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Pick up 9, lose 3. That's the 6 difference. That makes sense. Realistically, it's like a few of these, you can actually just go straight Brutal Swing and win now. Frostlass, Stunfisk, Swampert, Trevenant, Lickitung. So those are actually really nice pickups. Dugongs, Scrafty, A9tails. I haven't even looked at Carping. The others 3 that I just mentioned seem more bait dependent. This one, even a Dynamic Punch being blocked, you win here. So that is another straight pickup. So in the end, I would say Carbink, Stunfisk, Swampert, Trevenant, Frostlass, Lickitung are straight pickups with this move. Dugong, Ninetales, Scrafty could be pickups, somewhat bait dependent. Again, that's the pro. The con is, let's look at the current state of the meta. Azumarill, gonna get killed. Defenseoxys, lose. Gligar, destroyed. Lantern, you get closer. You get closer, but you still lose Lantern. Metachamp, just get destroyed, right? So, will this Pokemon be better? Yes. Will it have a ton of play in the current state of the meta? No. Where, again, you pick up these Pokemon in particular are for limited cups. When, like, if it's a remix and all these Pokemon are banned, then it starts looking better. But there are definitely some wins there. As we move to Ultra League, there's a little less Cobalion, Double, Escav, Swampert. So Swampert, again, and you lose to Glycopod, again, not being able to land the rock. Swampert seems like one out of all of these as a shadow that you could maybe just pick up just going straight. Yeah, that makes sense. Just because the Swampert, the shadow is just generally less bulky. These other ones, Double, Escav, and Cobalion, if you can't win just going straight Dynamic Punch, this is very bait dependent, I'm thinking. So bait there. I'm assuming you can go straight. If you can't win going straight Dynamic Punch, then that's surprising. So you can't, right? So already Cobalion bait dependent. This one on Double is actually just going straight Brutal Swing, so that is a legit pickup. And Escav, probably going straight Brutal Swing. No, Brutal Swing Dynamic. If you do not bait here, or they call the bait, what happens here? You lose. So I would say straight pickup in Swampert and Double. Cobalion, Escav pickups are obviously bait dependent. In terms of the meta, I think it's a nice Pokemon to have because one of the main meta is Ace and Slash, right? And that's a nice win here. But there's also Virizion. I'm trying to just think off the top of my head. So Tapu Fini obviously is a loss. Virizion still a loss. Cobalion bait dependent. Giratina, even though you have a nice coverage move, that is not helping. Your average is much higher. And I'm wondering if that's just because of these wins are so significant, or you actually just start picking up some. Because right now it just looks like, again, anything Ghost and Psychic, you're going to pick up a lot more, right? So Defense Deoxys, you pick up there. I mean, you still lose, but you are picking up more damage. Gyarados, I guess you couldn't get to multiple Stone Edges, so now you get to multiple Brutal Swings. Jellicent, you pick up a bit more there, right? So you're still losing a lot of these matchups, but you are picking up some, which is nice. And then your counter user, anytime a counter user is always strong in this. So I'd have a bit more play. 24-25 record with a 500 average is actually quite decent in the Ultra League. So definitely one worth investing in as well. 0, 15, 12, I imagine that it does not take a ton, probably no XLs. Level 28, right? So level 28 will get you that there. Master League, 50-50, right? Anything that's a flyer, Landorus, Ho-Ho, Gyarados, you no longer don't have the Stone Edge. Metagross makes sense because that's super effective. Reshiram and Zekrom, I'm guessing these are probably bait dependent now. Yeah, so landing that, if you get rid of the Dynamic Punch, you're probably going to lose. And that makes sense, right? So bait dependent there. So in the end, and it probably doesn't have a good record overall, 16-20. So kind of a meh at best. I don't even know if it's, I actually may prefer Stone Edge in most of these situations just to cover your flyer weakness. And you're probably going Dynamic Punch in most of these, unless you're just targeting Metagross as like a surprise attack. Outside of that, I don't think there's a ton of value there. But it's a good community day. It's definitely a focus on. I mean, Conquador is actually pretty good as a raid, right? With just as a pure fighter for raid, I think. So it's actually not bad for raids either. I think where it just gets strength is picking up a lot of these wins in the Great League. Again, there are just some straight wins it picks up here, which is nice. Um, but again, there is some bait dependency with this move, a Brutal Swing. But that is it. So that's just my quick analysis on this Timburr community for what Conquador gets. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about this community. This was not a surprise. It beats Charjabug. I mean, it's not even a Charjabug. Everyone uses Charjabug because Charjabug is so much better than Vikavolt, but that was actually what the main community was. But yeah, this is definitely an improvement. I'm sure a lot of people will be grinding. Plus 3 times Stardust, definitely worth the grind. So that's it. Good luck hunting. See you guys in the next one.